Well, that was pointless to try and maybe talk sense or that to people who have no common sense, who have little or no education, who can't think for themselves, who believe everything that they're told. And even though I can prove every lie that those people have said, that those people have done to me, they still continue to believe the lies, even if the truth is right under their noses, even if the truth that they could read it and see it is right there. But then I find out one of them is a sister. We all know Chino is Carlene's son. Um, you know, Apparently Johnny has a sister. I had no idea. At least that's what I'm told that one girl is Johnny's sister. Now I understand. Now I understand how and why she's so angry. Um, I get it. I get it. Her brother's a thief. If she is Johnny's sister, the entire island know he's a thief. He's stolen. I mean, when he was in the States working, he stole from the guy or screwed the guy around he was working for in the States because he thinks he's so smart, and then got his ass kicked back to Honduras and his visa pulled, which happened to a few other of those people who um, think that they're better than anybody else. See, these people think that they can do and say what they want because Carlene, the judge, will defend them or protect them or do what they're doing to me is lie, make the brutality of the lies so bad that the people tend to look to those lies instead of looking at the truth, instead of looking at Carlene, the judge of Utila, who allows all of this to happen, who, with her approval, allows this to happen. But I'll get back to that after. On the 9th of September, I went to the police to put a denuncia on Johnny Ramon. I at least figured the $3,000 that he got from me, excusing the other 10,000 that he stole from me, and the 8,000 lempiras that he owed uh, me for a bill that he never paid. I wanted that back. I at least wanted something to let people know that he can't keep doing this, that he has to pay for what he's stolen. He has to be accountable for what he's done. So I went there to the police. I put a denuncia on him, to the municipality police. Then they tell me I have to go through Carlene, the judge of Utila. I warned them that this would not be good, and she would actually do little to nothing. Because a year ago, she would not put a restraining order on Johnny, a restraining order on Ron Workman. She would not allow me to charge Johnny. She did no paperwork. She did nothing to help me. She protected Johnny and she protected Ron. So an officer came with me. She sat down beside Carlene. I sat down beside Miss Betty. I said, I'd like to put a denuncia on Johnny Ramon. The judge told me to sit down, give my information. I did that. The officer had said that I had come in before and tried to put a denuncia on somebody, and it was not done. And then Carlene went off. I sat there and I smiled at her. She told me, you're an effing B. You're a dirty effing B. I should have left you dead in the streets. Um, you're a mental case. You belong in a mental hospital. Go back to the hospital where you belong. You see, this, by her own admission, tells me how small-minded these people are, how desperate of a judge she is. Because heaven forbid anybody tells the truth about her son, about her husband, about her own dirty little family secrets. She's more than happy to tell everybody about other people. And if she can't tell something, she sits and makes it up. Just like her son, and Ron Workman sat and made up lies about me. Just like she sat with Johnny and made up lies about me. Everything that's people said about me are lies. Everything. And then the pathetic ones go on that I am a druggie, I am an alcoholic, all of this. Fact is, I've never been one. Never been a drug addict, never been an alcoholic, never will. But they have to do this in order to take the attention off of them. So the more severe that they could make a person look like, the more severity of the lies, the verbal abuse, the bullying, the hurt that they could do to a person, the better off they feel. Because then the other people chime in. The relatives, they chime in. Because heaven forbid that anybody finds out that Carlene takes bribes, that Carlene forces people to pay her in order to keep them out of jail. She threatens them with jail. The one young woman had to pay 500 US American dollars to Carlene because the young woman swore in her office, or else she was going to put her in jail. Well, on the 9th of September, this judge, swore. Swore in English. She said everything in English. And I bet if anybody goes and asks the secretary who was there if Carlene swore, she hollered, if she screamed, and the vulgarity and the disgusting profanity that this God fearing woman used, unprovoked, unnecessary, she'll probably tell you no, she didn't. Or I don't recall. And I get it. I get why they won't tell the truth about Carlene. Because Carlene will fire you, put you in jail, threaten family members. She will harm you in any way. And she uses her son. Her and her son have done a lot of damage to a lot of people. But Carlene, as a judge of Utila, is as corrupt as the day is long. And the thing is, the entire community of Utila knows that she can't be trusted. You can't tell this judge anything without her telling everybody. And if you don't want her to tell everybody, you have to pay her. You have to pay this judge so she won't put you in jail, so she won't take away your property. This isn't a judge. This isn't a woman of God. This is one of the cruelest, most evil women I have ever known. But the sad part is, she spreads it to her family. Not everyone, though, but only the ones who she's kept out of jail. And then you get Carlene, the judge, and my ex, Ron Workman, together. Those two together formed so many lies. They are one and the same. These people, you can't even describe what they are or who they are. They're the anybody who knows Carlene knows what she is and what she does. Everyone's afraid of her. No one will stand up to her because, as you've read, as you've seen, what she has people do in order to protect her. She expects the police to go with her lies. She expects everybody to accept her lies in order to harm people. This is what she's done for all the years in her office. The bribery, the corruption, the signing of false papers, making up false paperwork, taking people's lands, taking the elderly's trust in me, sign it over to me. I'll make sure you're taken care of. People have lost so much because of this woman, this judge of Utila. Her greed, her abuse of her power as a judge. And technically, she really isn't a judge. She's an empirical, or whatever they say. This woman has no education. She doesn't know the law. What she does is she forms her own laws. She tries to take people's children away from them. She has no authority in that. This woman has no education. And this community allows this woman to do as she pleases, to harm people as she pleases, to take and steal from people as she pleases, to take people's personal information and tell everybody's business, and they allow her to do it. They allow this judge to hurt themselves. They let her. And no one will stand up to this woman. That is why when I told the truth and continue to tell the truth about the judge of Utila, about her son, about Johnny Ramon, about Ron Workman, to tell the truth about these people and the extent that they have to go through to try and keep me quiet. Well, they can't. I will not stand down from these people. I will not stop telling the truth about these people. And the more I tell the truth about this judge on Utila, the more it's going to harm who wants to come in on an island where you know the judge of Utila is so corrupt. You can't trust her with your documents. You can't trust her with legal situations because she tells everybody your business. She came to my place, group of people, and she sat with them and she told everybody there about the people who came into her office that day, about what they confided in her. She told everybody, and it was a joke to her. I don't need to lie or make up these stories about Carlene, the judge of Utila. I don't need to lie about the judge's son. I sure as hell don't need to lie about what my ex, Ron Workman, did to me. But as I see the pictures and people telling me about his new best friend and his model of a girlfriend, I look at those women and I think, no wonder they believe his bullshit lies. No wonder they're angry at me for telling the truth about Ron and the man he actually really is. He can't tell them the truth about what he did to me, about what him and Carlene and Chino and Johnny did to me. He can't. Because then who the hell would want anything to do with him? So he has to make up a story. He has to make up a pretend life because he didn't have one. He hid behind Carlene. And he hid behind Chino. He paid off Johnny to say all the lies that Johnny said about me. Johnny told me himself that Ron called him out to the house and gave him money. You see it in the text where Johnny brought Ron women when him and I were still together. Johnny brought Ron women to sleep with. And people think that I slept with somebody. Those lies had to be made up in order for what Ron and what Johnny did for the women that Ron was screwing while I was in Canada doing our business.